Hey guys, very good morning. You are watching my YouTube channel CloudX India, and my name is Mithilesh Singh. So, in last session, right, for security group, we talked about security group, how it works, what it is, right, how to the flow of security group, right. In today's, we'll talk about we'll go with the demonstration part, how to create the security group and how can you apply it. Okay, so I have created two virtual machine for the demonstration purpose. Okay, and I'll go one by one in detail, right? Okay, so let me go on my console. So here two virtual machine I have created. One is the SRV1, and currently I am connected with the SRV1. So this is the console of my virtual machine SRV1. Okay, and other virtual machine is the SRV2, where I have not applied the standard security group, and the firewall port 3389 is not allowed, right? So I cannot take the remote connection of it. So but let me try for the demonstration purpose. So this is the another IP address, okay, of my another system is RV2. So I'm trying to connect it. So you can see it is saying initiating remote connection, right? It should not take this much time. Okay, so why it is showing and why it is not allowing, I'll go first with the security group configuration. Okay, so once you come into the SRV2, you can see the security group options, and here this is the default security group applied. Okay, I have selected. So the default security group is created when you create the VPC and subnet. Okay, so under this security group, there is another options which is view inbound rules, and the next one is view outbound rule, which means at the firewall level there are two rules. One is inbound, which allow any request to your virtual machine, and other one which is outbound, which means from your virtual machine when any request goes outside, so the outbound will work. Okay, so since I'm trying to access this virtual machine, so this will be the inbound rule for this SRV2. Okay, so let me go and see first whether my IP is allowed to access this virtual machine or not. So I'll go into the inbound, and I can see, so it's loading. So you can see the all ports and protocol are allowed, but the source is this. So this is the security group, one of the security group, right, which is added as a source here. Okay, so that is the reason it is not allowing. Okay, and if I go into the outbound, so by default, as I said in my previous video, so by default, any security group will allow all outbound connection. Okay, so it is allowing, it means from this virtual machine you can connect any, like you can access the outer world, but you cannot access this virtual machine from your system. Okay, to do this, what you have to do, you have to apply, you have to allow RDP connection, right? You have to modify the rule of the security group and allow the RDP connection. So I'm not going to modify it. What I'll do is I'll create a new security group and then apply to it. So it will help us to understand how to create the security group and what other features of the security group. So let me go. So I'll click here. Okay, and right click and open it. I'll go directly into the security group console. Okay, and then I'll create a new security group here. So I'll just, there are multiple security group created. Okay, test VPC, cloud baseline, default. So I'll go here and create a new security group, and name is CloudX demo. So description, you can put the description, this SC is used for demo purpose. Okay. And what will be the VPC? Definitely it is compute VPC because I have deployed my virtual machine into the compute. Okay. And the next options is you have to select the inbound, means incoming request. So as I said in previous video, so by default, it doesn't ask, like it doesn't create any default inbound rules. Okay, so there is no default rules, but outbound, definitely yes, there is a rule. So there are two options: either you add the rules from here directly, or first you create the security group and later you add it. So I'll do one thing. I'll first add one of the rules so that it will allow my system to access this virtual machine over internet. So what I can do, I'll check my public IP address. I'll go to the Google and I'll type what is my public IP address. What is my IP? Okay, so this is showing my public IP address. Okay, so I'll go into the add. I'll select 3389. So I'll add this one. So after creating the security group, what you have to do is you have to apply the security group on SRV2 so that it will allow my system to access the remote connection. So what I have to do is I have to go into the SRV2, select it, go into the action and come to the networking, change security group, and then select the CloudX demo and assign it. So now you can see the security group from default to the CloudX demo changed. And when you go inbound again, you will see the 3389 is allowed for this IP address. Okay. So let me see if I can take the connection or not. So I'll hit again. It is not allowing to connect. The reason I doubt, right? So because it's not sure how it is showing this IP address, and the actual public IP address of my system is this one. So I'll go and modify this IP address right into the CloudX demo. Okay, because it will not let this IP to access remote, and this is not my public IP address. So sometime it creates some confusion, right? Huge confusion. So I'll go here and add this one. So if I, okay, let me do one more test here. So if I go to the Chrome and type what is my IP address, so it will show the different IP on the different browser. So I'll use this IP address here to add and allow. I remove the 143. Okay. So okay, so now it is allowed here. And if I go into the SRV2 and verify inbound rule, so you can see the IP is changed and now I will try again. Okay, perfect. I'm able to access it. So I'll type the password here to access it. So this is the password. Perfect. I can access it. So this is how you can allow anyone to access your virtual machine or any IP, right? You have to first allow the ports, okay? And protocols you have to define here into the inbound. If you want anyone to access your virtual machine, then you have to modify your inbound rule, okay? And if you modify inbound rule, the outbound will automatically allow. Okay, so the other scenario is I have installed the web services over on SRV2, the web service. Okay, and the IP of SRV2 is this is the IP address, the private IP address, and SRV1 trying to access the web services of the SRV2. Okay, so let's do one thing. First, go and verify from SRV1 and try to access the web services of SRV2. So what I can do, since to access the services of SRV2, you have to use the IP address, okay, and access it. So when I try to access the HTTP or HTTPS, right, so it will not allowing to access me. The reason the particular port for HTTP or HTTPS is not open for this server SRV1. Okay, we'll verify. So let's verify first. So go on to the SRV2 and check the security group CloudX demo. Go inside the inbound And into the inbound, you can see only one ports are allowed, 3389. It means from any of the system, you cannot access the web services of SRv2. Okay. But can I access any other URL from my SRv1 system? So let me try from here, like google.com. Okay. So it is accessible. So the scenario is, as I said, I'll allow port 80 right here. So when I say SRV will access to SRv2, so it will be the rule, inbound rule, right? And inbound rule I will allow to SRv1 to access HTTP or HTTPS. It's based on the your service, like whether it is secure or non-secure mode. So for this, what I have to do, I have to go back to my SRv2 server and into the CloudX demo security group, since the other console is already open here, security group CloudX demo. So what I have to do, I have to go into the inbound, okay, and click on inbound rule and then add a rule here and mention the port number 80, or you can select the HTTPS, type HTTP and use the directly HTTP. Okay. And then what do you have to do, to whom you are going to allow? So we are going to allow to the SRv1. So what you have to do, in the inbound rule, the source will be SRv1. Okay. If I go here, so this will be the requester, okay, connecting to the SRv2. So into the inbound rule, SRv1 IP is the as a source. Okay. So click on save rule here and go back to SRv1 again and try to access it. Perfect. You can access, and you can access the Google as well. Okay. So you can access the Yahoo as well. But take an example. Your organization said you can access to only internal website SRv2. But from SRv1, you cannot access any, like block the all internet access like google.com, yahoo.com, or whatever it is. So how will you block it? So there is another options, as I said, the outbound rule. And we are talking to block all internet. Okay, block all internet from SRv1. So what you have to do is you have to go back to your SRv1, go into the security group and see, just open the security group, because we are going to block the outbound connection. It means if there is any request going to outside to access HTTP or HTTPS apart from this server, it will block. It means, so any request going out from SRv1 will not accessible. Okay. So I'll go into the CloudX baseline because it is applied on SRv1. And then where will I go? I will go into the outbound, because the SRv1 is the requester, and request, when it request goes from here, so it will be the outbound connection for the SRv1. So I'll go into the outbound rule and click on edit. And then what you have to do is just close this one and click on HTTP. Okay. And then which system you want to allow only? I want to allow only SRv2. So here, outbound, outbound will be this on HTTP. Okay. Apart from this, it all will be blocked because I'm not going to configure any other rules here. So I'll mention SRv2 IP address. Just make sure, guys. So remember, I'm mentioning SRv2 IP address here because I just want SRV1 to access one IP address. Okay, what happened? Okay, this is added here. So save this one. Go back to your virtual machine on SRV1 and try to first access the which one? Try to access SRV2. It is accessible from here. Since it is not the HTTPS, so you cannot access it. HTTP accessible. But can I try to access google.com again? No, you cannot. Okay, so the Google is not accessible. The yahoo.com is not accessible. The reason? Because if you go back to your SRV1 again into the outbound rule, if you view, you can see port 80 is allowed only for destination this. It means from SRV1 you can access to this particular IP address on port 80, nothing else. So guys, I hope you enjoy the session, okay, and you like it. So if you really feel it better, so please share with your friend on Facebook, WhatsApp, right? And subscribe the channel, okay, so you can like the video as well. Thanks guys, thanks for watching and your time. Thank you, bye bye.